May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Thank you for tuning in. I put these videos out every weekend, and I appreciate my subscribers who are there each and every weekend checking out the videos. Thank you very much. Hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button or the boost button. Uh, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can make sure you catch all of my notifications like new videos or my updates to the videos. Okay, I like to put them out sometimes during the week, so you want to make sure you're on board for that. Now, we had a bearish catalyst, well, a bullish catalyst, depending on what asset you're trading, uh, with the Iran Israel conflict. Uh, Israel launched missiles at Iran, and that caused the U.S. dollar to uh, gain strength against the yen and the euro. You can see the headlines here for the past couple of days. All right, and gold and oil start to fly when there are missiles flying. All right, and I suspect that there should be a gap opening in the equity markets because of the retaliation from Iran. So as long as the conflicts continue, we're probably going to see uh, money going into the U.S. dollar and people becoming investors becoming risk averse, and they're going to be a flight. There's going to be a flight to safe havens. Okay. Now, this might be temporary, which these things tend to be. This conflict might be over this in a couple of days, but it might take a couple of weeks. So we'll see. But right now, you can see the initial reaction by the U.S. dollar index. Right, was a bullish one when this started happening uh, Thursday evening into uh, uh, Friday. All right, over the Asia session, and then London, and then New York. Uh, but you see, there was a correction here. I'm thinking that from the correction to this impulsive move, I'm thinking that we had the pullback already, and we're probably going to be seeking these relative equal highs up here. So I'm going to extend this out. All right, now if things settle down during the week, will continue the bearish move. If you go to the weekly, sorry, if you go to the weekly, you can see that we're heading down towards this sell to buy area here, where it created fair value that has not been tested yet, and price was coming down there before the, the missiles started to fly. All right, I do believe that we'll end up there, but as long as this conflict continues, continues, uh, expect the U.S. dollar index to push higher, particularly uh, against the counter. It's not counter. It's the other currencies like the yen and the euro and the rest of the majors. All right. You see the initial reaction here. I'm thinking we're going to see more of the same as long as the conflict continues. So right now, right now, you can see a respect wick here that was given to this fair value gap here, a bearish fair value gap as the markets move down. I believe this may be just a speed bump. I think that we're probably not going to see a bearish candle come behind this. The only way that's going to happen is if they settle the 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 conflict, this latest catalyst in the geopolitical tensions. All right, if they settle it, then we'll see the continuation of the bearish trend. All right, as people gain more confidence in riskier assets. But right now, there's a flight to safe haven starting, and the U.S. dollar is going to be one of them, and we're probably going to continue up. All right. If we go to the euro again, this is the inverse of the US dollar index. You can see that this was the a target that I had set last week. Said that we'd probably be coming up here towards these relative equal highs here, and that's exactly what we did. Boom, that happened on Thursday, right? But then Friday came, boom, down. Okay, if the conflict continues, I think that even though we see the impulse move down to that bullish fair value gap, all right, I would normally be thinking, oh, we might get a two candle rejection and continue higher, but because that the missiles started to fly, I believe that this is the pullback we're going to get. This is the only pullback we're going to get to this impulsive move down. All right, we get that impulsive move, that retracement, and probably get some continuation to the downside. This, let me point this out clearly. This fair value gap is bullish. This fair value gap is bearish. All right. These are the things to watch. If we get a candle closure in the US dollar index above, let me change the color of that. No, this should be white. What am I doing? All right. We get a candle closure above it. All right. That is a clear confirmation of bullish intent and that we're heading up this way. All right. So I wouldn't be taking longs into this bearishness, all right, into this bearish fair value gap uh, until I see that bearish, a bullish close of a candle above it. Okay, that's on the U.S. dollar index. Inversely, on the euro, I'm looking for exactly the opposite. I'm looking for a candle closure to confirm that there's bearish intent. All right, below, I want to see this bullish fair value gap disrespected, and then I can start to think, all right, let me wait for a pullback, and then I can take things down because these lows, these lows are the draw on liquidity. Okay, and I think I'm going to front run this a little bit. I'm telling you that I think that we're going to hit this target this week. All right, I think it may be done before FOMC. Yeah, I think this will be done before for FOMC, and that would be my target for the week ahead. I think we're going to take this low out of the previous daily low here, and we're probably going to be heading towards the thing. But watch the fair value gaps. All right. If we go to the pound on the daily is moving a little more sluggish. All right. There's no fair value gaps in here. All right. But if we go down to, you can see the bearishness came into this market, and that pullback when the missiles started flying on Friday. All right, between Israel to Iran. So if we go to the 4 hour though, what you can see is there is a bullish fair value gap. All right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a price to break that bearish fair value gap before I start to think to take shorts. I think the shorts are coming because of the conflict, all right, and that's going to strengthen the U.S. dollar against its counterparts. So, but I'm waiting for confirmation. Confirmation for me would be a close below this fair value gap here. All right, I don't know why I got that little arrow going up. All right. Normally, if there was no catalyst, no fundamental catalyst, no news driving catalyst, like that, the missiles flying, I would be thinking this would be a two candle touch. We get one touch and then another one, the wick down, and then we get a bullish candle, and we can just continue to go higher. But the fundamentals will kill that. They're just going to kill that. So we'll see how it goes on Monday and Tuesday. I'm thinking that we're going to break this before CPI. I mean, FOMC comes out. Let's go to the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is just ugly, ugly. All right, but whatever I've been saying. All right, this deserves some attention. What have I been saying? Look, for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, hey, there is a bullish fair value gap here on the weekly. All right, that has not been tested. Has not The price has not used it to come back to yet. Mm-mm. All right, I see all this. That's why I have this arrow here. All these lows are a draw on liquidity. All right, whenever I see the markets um, make this impulsive move down and then correct up and then down. Let me get this a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at this. We see this pattern. All right. Markets push down. All right. And then pull back up, maintain the high over here as a protected high. And then we start to break, break down, and then chop back up, break down, taking that low, pull back up, take the high, then we take the low, take this low again, and then we chop back up, and then we take that low. All right, this is what I'm looking for. All of this is just saying lower high, lower low, basically. All right, we see a consolidation, we see manipulation, we see AMD. All right, price moves down, goes into this consolidation. We manipulate to the high, and then we take out the lows. All right, we do it again. Boom, boom, boom. We manipulate higher, and then we distribute. Yeah, I mean, this is AMD. That's all it is. And I'm looking at this here, this chopping here, as uh, the sell side liquidity being driven up. All right, why are we going higher? We're going to this area of fair value. All right. And if you look at it on the monthly, you can see it clearly. All right. This is the buy up before the strongest sell off. This is an area of fair value. I was looking for a price to come back to it, and we're on our way. I keep saying it for the last couple of weeks. If you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm saying is factual. Uh, and but this is not some place you want to be trading in. You don't want to be trading in that because the direction could change on you at any time. All right, we had a nice bit of manipulation up here, right? We swept the high. I told you that in the very last video. I said price is going to sweep that high, but I said, oh, you want to avoid trading in it, but it's heading up towards this area of fair value up here, right? This is the catalyst that we you just can't account for. All right. When the missiles started flying, US dollar gained strength, started pulling price down. We have a pullback. I'm thinking we're about to sweep all of this down into this fair value gap. That is a monthly fair value gap. Okay. Not a weekly. That is a monthly fair value gap. Is it? I want to make sure. Yeah. It's a weekly fair value gap. Sorry. It's a weekly fair value gap. And we have all this sell side liquidity for a price to sweep. I'm thinking that's exactly what's going to happen. And, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. So we'll see. All right. So that's what I'm looking for this week in the Aussie dollar. All right. I think this is going to happen. And once price starts to head down there, this is going to drop like a hot rock after these lows. All these lows are taken out because it's just going to accelerate down into that. That's my opinion. Now, the Zealand dollar is a very similar situation. You see that we have these lows and we have an untested area of demand. I mean, of fair value here. That's on the daily. If we look at it on a weekly, you can see how we had a strong push up. All right, we got that weekly fair value gap. It came in that weekly fair value gap, chopped its way up, didn't really displace higher. All right, and then we had a catalyst step in, and it looks like we might be heading down, and that is quite an attractive situation actually, because uh, uh, those lows are going to kind of make things easier to trade. These are this is a lot of liquidity built up, and I can see with the tensions happening over there that we're probably going to have a nice straight line to it. That's barring new news saying that the conflict is settled. So I'm definitely bearish into this area. This is actually an area of fair value right here. All right, and it's not tested. We have an inducement for price to make it down here before we can start thinking about buys. So I'm not looking at buys at all in this market. I'm looking at sells, and I think there's a strong tendency towards it. With if we look at the Canadian dollar, we go to the weekly, we can see that we had this push down. We hit the COVID lows, and I've been talking about it for the last month. All right, for the last month, we had this displacement to the upside, and I said we have this monthly fair value gap. I was looking for price to turn around in here, but no, we had a doggone conflict come in, right? And look at how the Canadian dollar is moving against the U.S. dollar. All right. When you trade the Canadian futures on the spot, you're trading automatically against the U.S. dollar. All right. It's outperforming the U.S. dollar. Why? Because Canada is an oil-based economy. It's a commodities-based currency, and with oil prices going higher, uh, Canadian the Canadian dollars will draw. It'll draw more interest. All right. And you'll see that it'll get stronger against and outperform the US dollar. I think we're going up into this weekly area of supply. And you see how we're in this weekly fair value gap over here? I think we're right here. Boom, boom. I believe that we are going to eat right past that. I think we're going to fill it. I think we're looking at a bullet because it's a bullish catalyst to the Canadian dollar. I think we're going right up into this area of supply. All right, watch this number here because this is where that body starts for the buy up before the strongest sell off. I think that we'll probably be going right to that line. Okay, and maybe beyond. All right, so this is the internal. Sorry, this is the internal liquidity, and I think that's exactly where we're headed. All right, if we go to so yeah, I'm definitely looking up at this as the next draw on liquidity higher. If we go to the Swiss, we can see uh, the Swiss was outperforming the US dollar. All right, until this catalyst. That stopped it dead in its tracks. I think we're going to see more downside. Look, just like in the euro and the pound, there is a bullish fair value gap there. All right, look for it to fail. Once it fails, that'll be our confirmation that prices are going to be going lower, and that's where we'll see the sell side liquidity be swept up. The last one is the yen. Just look for the yen to be dragged down a little further because the US dollar is gaining strength against the yen. All right, you can see how the initial reaction was bearish on Friday. Look for more of the same as the conflict continues. Got it? There are my sell side targets. I will see you in the next video, and thank you for watching. may profits be upon you.